acceptance letter into FAMU when it was like maybe like April of 2014. I was in my Holocaust class, sitting next to my then best friend, and I told her, like, because she had a sister who already went to FAMU, but she ended up not completing, so she didn't graduate from FAMU. She attended FAMU. She didn't graduate from there. She attended FAMU, and due to whatever circumstances she faced personally, she ended up coming back home. So, like I said, my then best friend kind of had a negative taste in her mouth about not HBCUs, but about FAMU. And so, you know, she kind of had the ideology that HBCUs were, you know, inferior in education. She kind of felt like HBCUs were, you know, not going to be looked at as being equal or being up to par versus going to a white school, versus going to a PWI. And a lot of her mindset and negativity towards FAMU came from the experience that she had her sister. Her sister was, a lot of her experience came from how she saw her sister, you know, perform at FAMU. And her sister was very smart. I think she was like valedictorian at our high school, because we all went to the same high school. And I think she was valedictorian. I think she was. Yeah, she was actually. And so she was like, you know, how you go from that to dropping out of the HB. So yeah, I mean, you're throwing shade, but if it's inadequate, you didn't finish. Anyways, so you know, that's what happened. So she kind of had a bad taste in her mouth. I was in Holocaust class, and the acceptance letter came in through an email. So, you know, we're not supposed to be on our phones in high school because it's childish. And so I'm on my phone, and I'm sitting in Holocaust class, and I'm like, I see FAMU. And I'm like, oh. And I open it, and it says, you know, congratulations, Jordan Morrison, you got accepted, da 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 da. And I'm like, And then I tell her, and I'm like, guess what? Because she already figured out she was going to the school of her dreams, which I was happy for her, because this is literally, I met her in 7th grade. We were then seniors at high school, and she got accepted into the school of her dreams. So I was lit. Like, I was happy for her. And me, I never really had like a college of my dreams. I knew I was going to college. I knew once I got to college, I was going to handle it, do the best that I can. But I didn't know where I was going to go. And me, as you'll see through a lot of my videos, I kind of just, I go with the flow. I do plan. But for the most part, I like to tap different things, try this out, see what this is like, go over here for a second. And that's pretty much what I did. But, you know, she went, you know, she went to the school of her dreams. Well, she had already gotten her acceptance letter into the school of her dreams. And so when I told her, I was like, I got accepted. It's a fail. And she was like, okay. I'm thinking, like, is that bad? Like, did I not? You know, is this not good? And, you know, she's supposed to be my best friend. So, you know, I'm feeding off her energy. And I'm like, wow, okay. I guess it's not a big deal. And so, you know, I went on about my day, and then that was 7th period, so I had like one more class. And then when I finally went home, I told my parents I got accepted into FAMU, and they were excited. They was like, okay, cool, you know, let's get ready to take a tour, like, this is where you're going. Because at that point, I had already, and this is something that a lot of people don't like to admit, I had already been turned down from, I think, 2 other schools that I wanted to go to. Like, after doing research, I think I came up with like 5 different schools, and out of those 5, I only applied to 3. And so the other 2, I had already been, you know, denied. And so FAMU was the one to accept me. So that was like, the Lord was like, you know what, come here. And so that's definitely how I got in the fam. And I would say that's the best thing, because, you know, they always say you get 1,000 no's, or excuse me, even if you get 100 no's, you get 100, or you get 99 no's, I'm sorry, and that one yes. So FAMU was my one yes. So that's why when people talk about FAMU, I'm like, watch your mouth. Because as smart as I am, as intelligent as I am, as silly as I am, as fun as I am, as much as I have going for myself, I had been denied from schools before. And FAMU was the only one to be like, hey, come here, come here, come here, come here, my beautiful black sister. And so that means a lot to me. That's a big deal. So yeah, with that narrative, basically I went on, I'm saying that I didn't initially have the feeling of excitement when I got my acceptance letter. The excitement came when I came up here from our tour. So let me set up the scenery real quick. So my sister was already she was on her last year. Yeah. She was on her last year at BCU, Bethune-Cookman University. So she was on her last year at BCU. And so, you know, BCU and fam, like, we got that whole rivalry thing going on. So, like, it's like, okay, the big sister's at BCU and the little sister's going to fam. So it's like, okay. So then she was like, okay, we're going to do our tour. You know, my mom, my dad, my sister, like, we was like, let's go. We went to tour. And when I first got here, and I first toured, I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, let's go. Like, I was ready. I was like, okay, this is nice. And, you know, they take you on a nice tour around the campus. And the first thing I'm seeing is just beautiful black people. Just beautiful black people. And like me, like where I lived prior to going to, you know, coming to college, there was not a lot of black people. There were some, but all the black people knew each other. So it was like, you know, okay, I know who that is. I know him. I know him. I know him. You know what I'm saying? And like the fine ones, you know, not that there was anybody ugly, but the fine ones, everybody already knew. So it was like, you know, it's not fun. But like when I came to college, and I'm like, Jesus. And this is just the tour. So I'm just like, oh, Lord, I don't know what to do. And I was like, there's just so many there's beautiful men, and the women, they are so beautiful, and they look so like driven and inspirational, and I can just learn from them, and they can learn from me, and we're gonna build. Okay? So then that was the tour. So then I'm like, I'm ready, I'm going. That best friend that I had at the time, and we severed that friendship. So I was like, boom. Kicked her out. She was gone. And so at this time, I'm like, you know what? No one's holding me back. I'm about to do my thing at my HBCU. And I was ready. I came for orientation. It was awesome. And then, freshman year. Whew. Okay, so for freshman year, I came up here with a boyfriend. And I think that's important to say because it changes your whole perspective. You got to think about it because a lot of people, they come up to school, kind of like how I told you about the best friend. And not saying that this is what her sister did, but this is an example. A lot of people come up there and they're like, oh, whoa. And, you know, they go wild. But I had a boyfriend, so I wasn't going to go wild because I had a boyfriend. So, you know, I did fun things, but I kind of stayed kind of in the box. You know, I had single friends who was like, hey, girl, let's go party. And I'm like, okay, we can party, but, you know, I'm just going to sit here and watch you party. Text my man. And so that's pretty much what it was. And, you know, being that he was my boyfriend, and I was definitely loyal to him when we were together. You know, like, a lot of, like, that, like, the biggest interaction part, I feel like came from, like, when guys were like, hey, and you're like, what's up? And like, okay, let's hang out. You get your crew together, I get my crew together, and we all go to a party. That's how I've seen a lot of people, like, have great friendships, like, off rip. Because girls are kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's easier, I feel, for a group of girls to hang out with a group of guys than it is for a group of girls to merge. And that's just how it is. Because girls will be like, I don't want to talk to her because this, you know. Schooling, like, as far as classes are concerned, like, when I first came up here, I was like, this is a lot. Because I remember my first class was, like, an African American experience class. And it was my first class, my first college course that I ever attended, and it was like I think it was a 10-10. I think it started at 10-10. Yeah, it was like 10-10 to 11. And I mean, the professor she was okay, but like, I was like, this is a lot. And like, she really wants us to read all these pages. And freshman year, you don't know. So you go out there and you really buy your book. And you really think you're going to sit there and read all that book. And then you're like, oh my God, okay, you got like 6 other classes you got to do this with. And you're like, this is too much. And I'm like, there's no way, this is impossible. And then, so then I learned, you don't really have to read the book in all the cases, there's other stuff you could do. Like, study their PowerPoint. But, yeah, so I'm like, okay, this is a lot. Like, this workload is ridiculous. But I'm seeing, like, people around me, and I met one of my best friends, Tiara, freshman year, and so, like, looking at how she was coping and dealing with it helped me out, helped me cope and deal with it. So that was schoolwork. It wasn't too bad. I didn't feel a big transition because I was already in honors and AP classes. So it was harder because it was more classes. Like, when I had AP classes, I'd had like two a semester in high school. So when all your classes are that rigorous, it's pressure, but it wasn't too bad. So that was freshman year. So sophomore year, okay, is when I finally moved off campus. And remind you, I'm still in college. I'm moving off campus into my own apartment, right? And when I moved off campus into my own apartment, I still didn't have a car yet. So I had to live in an apartment complex that had like a shuttle. They call it the shuttle, but it's pretty much like a van that goes to FAMU, FSU, and TCC. Like, it does a route. So that's where I lived. So that was sophomore year. Sophomore year, I met my other best friend, Robin. We were randos. So basically, for student housing, you have just random people who are trying to live in student housing. So they paired us up together. And we hit it off since. But anyways, yeah, so that's how we met sophomore year. And sophomore year was probably my craziest year. Remember, this is all about FAMU. Sophomore year was my craziest year because I met a few people that caused a few different crazy experiences. But that's for a different video. Sophomore year was harder also because I have this freedom of living on my own. I met my best friend who she likes to do things. Like, so now I'm able to go here and go there and go here because she had a car. So now we're ready. Like, we're on the road. Like, this is fun. And she was like a party child. So she actually like introduced me to, okay, come on, let's go out. Because at that time, I had also broken up with my boyfriend that I had freshman year. So now I'm like, I'm like, let's get it. Like, let's go. So then, I started hanging out and doing more stuff and like just having a better experience. School for me then it kind of picked up sophomore year because freshman, you kind of get a hang of it. You see how it works. You see what you're doing. You get a hang of it. It's not as like concerning anymore. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. I'm good. So sophomore year was a breeze. Junior year was my best friend's last year. Junior year and senior year really run together because they were both like just experiencing and having fun with Robin. Maybe I can find a way to insert some videos or something, but like we went to Miami for spring break, we went to, well, not just Miami, that spring break we went to Jacksonville, Daytona, Tampa, then Miami, and then we just shot back up to Tally. But just different experiences. So like sophomore and junior year were like my most crazy fun years. My senior-ish year, because I'll be graduating in December. So for my senior-ish year, it is my senior, but I keep saying senior-ish because most people graduate in spring, and I'm graduating in fall. But that's why I keep saying senior-ish, but it's a senior year. Really, it became about me reflecting on how to be a better student, how to be the best student I can be, and just best person I can be. And it became about, working because I got a job. It working and balancing school, that became like my new issue and something I'm still low-key facing. But basically balancing the fact that I don't want my parents to feel like they have to help me anymore financially, and I still need to, you know, matriculate in school so that when I graduate, I have, you know, not only will I have money saved up, and you know, I'll have my degree and I'll be ready to go on to my next level in life. So that's what senior year became about. We graduated in December, so I'll officially be a FAMU graduate. And FAMU, once you graduate, man, that alumni, listen, you do not talk about FAMU. Like, that's what I love. The alumni are so die-hard. Like, they're die-hard FAMU, like, to the day I die, rather, forever. And that's what it is. It's FAMU forever. It really is. But, I also wanted to end this video, kind of wrap it up, and just give a special shout out, especially since what I just said, is that, Miss Debbie, she's been a blessing. She's been a guardian angel. She's been a guardian angel, really. Just she graduated from FAMU. And from the moment she knew I was going, she was on me. Like, she was like, girl, you know, what do you need? How can I help you? Like, just always there. And even to this day, like, you know, she'll still hit me up, hey, how are you? When I go home, I'll visit her. She always looks out for me. She always helps me out. So I want to say thank you, Miss Debbie. You are loved and you are appreciated. And that is just an example of that Rattler love and that Rattler connection. I don't know if people have that at other schools, but when I see people who go to other schools and their interaction with people who don't, or I mean that also attend the school, it's kind of like, okay, you know, if I'm walking down the street and I got my Rattler shirt on, you know what I'm saying? This is a Rattler shirt that I got at Walmart today. Okay, so if I'm walking down the street and I have my Rattler shirt on, and someone who graduated from FAMU is gonna be like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Da, da, da. Okay, what's your major? What you doing? How you doing? Da, 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 da. Like, it's a connection instantly. If I see somebody, you went to FAM? You graduated from FAMU? When'd you graduate? What's up? Are you about to go? Or your brother goes? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's an instant conversation. It's love. And it's beautiful. So I know that video was kind of lengthy, but I hope it answers some of your questions. If you have any more questions, please feel free to drop them below in the comment section, and I will definitely answer them. I've been doing my best to answer any comments that people make. And so yeah, thank you so much. So thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I hope this answered a few of your questions, or maybe encourage you to extend your research on HBCUs or even FAMU specifically. If you have any questions, please, any comments, please, whatever, feel free to drop it below in the comment section. I will do my best to answer your questions or respond to your comments. Again, I want this channel to be very interactive, so don't feel afraid to say what you want to say, even if it's something that goes against what I said. Hey, let's talk about it. Thank you again. Happy